What a week. That was almost a catastrophe. Keep insisting that this is what I'm gonna do, but I don't think it's smart. Hello! I just got done filming something for you about the men that I connected with for potential dating this past week, and after I did it, I realized that I wasn't being my positive, happy self because I was just venting. Because they're humorous, but there was no meat. It was just me venting. I wanted to loop in some meat, right? Some juice, some tea. What I want to turn this video into, because you know, I'm all about taking things could have been negative and turning them into positive, is how I continue to spread love and positivity, even in times of down, how I don't plan to ever stop being in love with the idea of love. Let's get into it. 2 stories of the ridiculous things men do. We can just call that the topic, right? Because men do silly things, women do silly things, we all do silly things, humans do silly things. And so after completing that, I was very angsty. I still don't know if I'm saying that word right. None of you have corrected me yet. Help. And I think I'm full of angst is what you're supposed to say. To clarify, I think I do know. What I remind myself daily is that everyone's doing the best that they can. There's no handbook to how to be a human. There's no guidebook for parents how to raise a human. It's this whole big simulation video game of random rendezvous and spontaneous shenanigans. I'm just here to remind you that I'm pretty confident most people aren't doing things to hurt you. Most people, if they hurt you, are coming from a place of hurt. If you remember the bully on your playground, your bully was probably being bullied. That's how people learn how to be a bully. With all the chaos of war and hate, discrimination, and everything that's going on, I mentioned this in videos before, we're all born basically the same way via a womb. We all have experiences thereafter that formulate the way we perceive the world and life. There's a lot of people that have been programmed in an unfortunate way. A lot of people are lost. A lot of people are confused. And I've been saying this a lot the last few months. I think a lot of people are still processing 2020. I think staying at home with their thoughts was a blessing for some and torture for many. And I think there is an unfinished, unsettled chaos that lives within a lot of people's mindset. A lot of people are still stuck in trauma, still stuck in transition, still trying to figure out what they should have figured out. Not shoulda, I don't want to should on anybody. What they had the opportunity to figure out. Personally, 2020 for me, although it included the loss of my mother to cancer and my dogs, oh, Zoe, I still miss you. It provided me a lot of space to reflect. The rapid redirection of my life happened because of 2020. And if it wasn't a big enough kick in the pants, then my brother's incident happened. And that was rocket fuel for me, for my healing. Without a breakup, without a death of ego, it's hard to make the transition. I went out with a friend last week and we were both frustrated in that it feels like since 2020, a lot of people are coming from a place of entitlement. Driving down the wrong way on a street, not stopping at stoplights because they don't feel like there's no consequences for things right now. And so people are acting out. People are behaving like children. There was a clip that I saw the other day of when a child is misbehaving, check in if it needs these 4 things. If it's hungry, if it's thirsty, if it's lonely, and if it's tired. And I was like, this is all of humanity. This isn't just children. Those are the 4 fundamentals of humanity. In 2020, a lot of people lacked that connection. I think it's permanently scarred some folks. They're in this limbo space. I understand everyone is trying. I really genuinely believe that. I'm a romantic. I'm in love with the idea of love. I have been conditioned with fairy tales since a very young age. Ideology that I have a Prince Charming. He's coming. He's gonna be maybe on a white horse. I do believe that I deserve a romantic partner. I'm willing to wait for that, however long that is, because I know I deserve that, because I know I provide that to a partner. I know someone else can do it because it's what I'm doing. Does that make sense? I wanted to talk about some of the ways that I stay positive and stay in love with the idea of love. Number one thing, and I've already said this, is understand everyone is trying. The second thing is, in the moment, I automatically, when someone is misbehaving, I automatically now reprogram myself to look at this person as, oh no, I've triggered something. I've triggered a pain. I've triggered something that lives within inside them that has nothing to do with me. And I think that's the game changer for me now. I think these encounters, when they happen, I'm so quickly able to bounce out of them because I can immediately recognize it has nothing to do with me. That, ladies and gentlemen, is life-changing. And that's not to say I won't be responsible for the way people feel ever. And that's not to say that I'm deflecting and trying to not take ownership or responsibility. That's absolutely not what I'm saying. But when someone misbehaves with a toxic emotion towards me for a very minor thing, something that I didn't do, something that they're projecting, I rapid fire am able to go, oh, this hurts you. This upsets something within you. I don't take it on as my own. When someone, I had a client 2 weeks ago that had an issue. They were supposed to send money and they sent the money as a direct deposit instead of a wire, an ACH. It could have impeded the transaction or delayed it by several days, which would have been really upsetting for this client. The person that was supposed to receive the funds didn't really explain what they were how my client was supposed to send the funds. And so when things went awry and my client was like, hey, this is how I did it by accident, the person that was receiving the funds freaked out and was toxic, inappropriate, yelling, rude, and really triggered my client. Like, my client was shaken. I took a moment and I said, hey, I just want to let you know that the person didn't rage out at you because of you. They likely raged out because they felt uncomfortable that they forgot to explain something to you, and that triggered something in them, an insecurity that they feel about themselves. Their reaction has everything to do with the way that it made them feel inside, that they messed up, and nothing to do with the fact that you sent it wrong because you didn't know how to send it and they forgot to clarify something with you on how to send it. So how can you be the problem? And she immediately cooled, and then later she told me she went and took it to her therapist, and her therapist completely agreed with me. And then the next day, this person called to apologize and say, hey, that was my fault. I didn't explain it better. How I stay so positive, how I stay in love with love, is I understand that when someone is triggered and when someone is sad and when someone's angry and when someone behaves with emotions, I'm 95% sure it's because of something that lives within them. And if you can remember this one secret, I think it's really gonna change your life. Example, someone cuts you off while driving. Sometimes I'll get a little lippy and, do my hand gestures. And a lot of the times I'll go, oh, I've been late before, I get it. That person must be really late. That person they must be having a bad day. When someone bumps into you at the grocery store, I will make a face because it'll scare me. I don't turn and yell at the person because the person more than likely is in a haze. They're not like a mean girl on the playground that like wants to bump into you so you start stuff. Like, they probably think that you bumped into them because we are all living in our own little universe, right? It honestly, to me, feels like we live in a simulation and we're all video game characters like The Sims. And we get every morning to wake up, set a fire in the kitchen because we don't know the right skill set yet, not go to work because we overslept. It's really about learning and enjoying and discovering. And I just want to remind you to do those things, to explore and discover and contemplate and reflect. Never stop learning, never stop trying. It would be so beautiful for me to hear that you lived your life coming from a place of love, believing in faith and hope, curiosity, and to not give up on walking into the life you truly want, because I'm pretty confident we all want love. We all want to be loved. We all want to be showered with admiration and kindness and respect. But we've had bumps and bruises along the way that have caused us to be afraid of love, to be afraid of vulnerability, and that's completely justified. Holding on to that is like drinking Drano and hoping to poison someone else. The only life that you're impacting is your own, and your behaviors and your thoughts and your patterns are only your own. You can't force, for the most part, anyone to be and live and feel like you do. If you're thinking negative and angry thoughts, that's only hurting you. You need to hear that again. If you are holding on to dark, angry, sad, bitter, painful emotions about a situation, sis, it's only hurting you. And these men that I encounter, we all got something. Sis, we all got a trigger, we all got a pain point, myself included. I'm not still work in progress forever and ever, but I'm a lot better than I was last year and light years better than I was 10 years ago. So I wish the same for you, my friend. What if you could wake up tomorrow and you just like loved everything? I just wanted to friendly remind you that you create your universe, create this world that lives up here. You have complete control and power over how you process things, what you allow into your space, and how you eject those things out. I've canceled a lot of friendships this last month. I just don't have space for it. And I don't know if it's because it's 2024 or if it's because of my age. You know, I'm 41, and at 40s it's less F's given. Something's changing. Is it because I'm healing? Is it a plethora of things? Sure. Is it a combination of all of it? Yeah. Does it feel really good? Is it overwhelming to process initially and painful and yucky to do? Yes. This didn't come easy, sis. I didn't wake up one day in a beautiful situation. To be honest, I really haven't had much for beautiful situations. I do want to write a book, and I do want to write down all the crazy banana things that have happened to me over the course of my life, and yearly the list continues. And I am in no way saying that other people don't have crazy things either. What I'm saying is when people witness me, they make assumptions that my life has been easy, and it's been far from easy. Both of my parents resented and mildly hated me since birth. My conception is the cause of the breakup. It was a 15-year relationship, and because I was created, the relationship ended, and I was resented by each parent. I have all the forgiveness for her. She had, her speed bumps and hurdles and PTSD and traumas that generations ago, they didn't have the skills that we have now. They didn't have the rapid awakening of consciousness that we have. Things were so different. And for my children, I'm really excited for the youth. I'm really excited for them to step in, make changes, and I'm excited to see what happens with humanity. But I wish and pray for you to understand that you have control over the universe you live in. As a certified hypnotherapist, someone that has studied reprogramming, and I have reprogrammed many people. And to clarify, I cannot reprogram you if you don't want to be reprogrammed. I promise I'll stay in my lane, but I have these free nuggets that I just feel guilty not sharing. And so that's what this channel is intended to do, is to share the little nuggets that I've clumsily discovered along my path that are helping me to evolve into the best life. And my number one secret for this week, if you can, in the moment, or even within 5 minutes, give yourself 5 minutes grace to look at the situation where someone's giving you emotions that aren't pleasant, understand that it's probably not you, and send them love and kindness. If we could live in a world like that, sis, I would want to live for eternity. I would never want to leave. They do say, it's kind of a joke, that the reason children come into this world from the womb screaming is because the soul doesn't want to have to be a human again. I really do think that many of us live multiple lives. Bits and pieces come back when we reincarnate, that this is just one big giant experiment where we're figuring out how to learn more this round, more than we did last round. I think each generation is becoming more evolved, spiritually connected, and I think it's gonna be fucking beautiful. Yeah, I do. I actually, now that I think about it, I'm really excited to get old so I can see what these youngsters do with the world. It's gonna be beautiful. Pretty confident. Blessings and love to you.